Welcome to another session of how to do research. In this session, we'll look at the way to write a project proposal. How to write a project proposal. So in our previous session, we got an understanding of the write-ups that we have to do in order to conduct a research and submit the documents. And in this session, we look at how to write a project proposal. So this is done at the early stage or the first stage of your project. Now you might have come up with the project idea, and you might have read several research papers, and you have done some work, and now it's the task to prepare a project proposal. So aspects to appear in a project proposal: first is the project title. Now you should have a proper project title and name of the reporter, that's the name of the researcher, and introduction. It should be there in the project proposal. Introduction, you can mention about the research field a bit. So it should contain the major researchers, major universities, the cream, the research, and also about the key findings, the trends, the best research papers. Now when you are reading research papers, you might have noticed maybe the best papers. If you have papers from high ranked journals, the papers with very high impact factor, and those journals, they refer, most of the journals, if they are referring to a particular author or some research work, that means it is really important. So you can, just like that, you can select the major research papers, major research projects, and include that in your introduction. And further you can improve it via the background and the motivation. So introduction, you can give an introduction to the area, the domain or the research field, and you can balance it by using background and motivation. So you can write further on that, and you can tell about your motivation on doing. So if you have major researchers from major universities, research groups doing some research, and if it's state of art, and if it's in the research, the new trends, so you can look at that. Then you have introduction, you have background and motivation, and another important thing is, the most important, the problem in brief. So what is the problem that you are trying to solve? So it's like a story or like a flow that you have to do. Introduction and background and motivation, you tell about the area and the research trends and so on, and then you narrow down to the problem in brief. So what is the problem that you are going to solve? And next is the most important thing, the proposed solution. So how you are going to solve the problem that you identify. So problem in briefs followed by the proposed solution. So you can have a small architectural diagram maybe, and you have the proposed solution. So maybe the candidates of the technologies that you can use. And next you have the research objectives. So you will have 4 objectives. Maybe you might have to you can categorize it in various ways. The normal objectives, you have to do a literature review and analyze, design the SDLC life cycle, document and those things. And the other objectives, such as you have to research about various technical sites, and you have to get done surveys done. So you can have a motivation. That part you can look at the specification of your own university or institute, and you can have that part. So then you have the resource requirements. For a research, computing research, you need a computer. For example, if you are doing research in machine learning, deep learning, you might need a computer with high performance, and sometimes you might require a GPU as well. So if you are using cloud computing, you should have necessary infrastructure, maybe if necessary. And if you are using with hardware, you might have get various devices and so on. So the research requirements you have to mention in your project proposal, and the plan of actions and the schedule. So it can be based on objectives, so the things that you are going to do, and plan of actions, and the important thing, the reference. So if you don't use reference, it goes as plagiarism. So you have to make sure that you list all the reference in the proper format. Right. So let's summarize what we studied in this session, which we learned or discussed in this session. So how to write a research project proposal? Aspects to appear in a project proposal: project title, name of the reporter, introduction, background and motivation, problem in brief, proposed solution, objectives, resource requirements, and plan of action or the schedule. So it can be based on the objectives, and finally the reference. Right. So enjoy your project proposal, and thank you very much for listening. Thank you.